teachers of mathematics, welcome to session 2 of unit 1 in the course Assessment in Maths Education. In the previous section, we discussed what measurement is. We look at various definitions of measurement, and also we said that measurement is a process of collecting data, interpreting the data, and obtaining informations. And we use the information to make various decisions about the student, teaching and attainment of the curriculum goal, and among other things. In this session, we are going to look at what is measurement. And last time we met, I gave you assignment to go and define what measurement is. So in this session 2 of unit 1, we are going to look at measurements, and objective of this section are as a maths teacher, by the end of this session you should be able to explain definition of measurement in mathematics, explain principles associated with measurement in mathematics. So what is measurement in mathematics? First, let's look at definition of measurement. And measurement is the process of assigning numbers, and that number can be a score or marks to specify attributes or characteristics or traits possessed by a person, event, or a set of objects according to specified rules. Now, what will be the specified rules you are talking about? You are assigning numbers or marks to a certain attribute based on a specified rules. So the rules may involve using a test and maybe counting the number of items each person answered correctly. Maybe the rules, that number or item obtained represent how much of the trait the person has, which can be compared with other information to obtain further meaning. And their performance. So you count the number of items each person answers correctly. You can see that candidate A had 10, candidate B had B. Therefore, candidate A is one. Maybe you want to measure academic performance, as we can say have high IQ as compared to candidate B. It depends on how you want to measure. So let's look at educational measurement. You see measurement, then what would be an educational measurement? An educational measurement also involves the assignment of numerals to such traits as an achievement, aptitude, and performance. It's a numeric description of event or characteristics. So you can see that the educational measurement is also talking about the same measurement definition we've already looked at. Now the next question is, what will be the measurement in mathematics? That was the assignment I gave to you last time. So read your answers, you compare, pause the video, go through your answer, you write it down in your own words, and then let's see the definition and compare. Now, measurement in mathematics involves assigning numbers to indicate how well a student has performed on a test, class exercise, or project. Thus, measurement is the process of quantifying assessment data. Measurements in mathematics, we don't only do exercise or class tests. No, it can be a project. We have a whole lot of projects in mathematics. So, and among other things. So, once you are assigning numbers to indicate how well a student has performed on a test, class exercise, or project, then you are doing what you call measurement. So if you're giving, let's say you are teaching quadratic equation, and then you're giving a question for students to solve on quadratic equation. You measure, you compare, you mark, make sure you always mark your students' assignments and exercise. You mark, you compare the answers, you can see that candidate A performed better than candidate B. Therefore, that one, it can help you to make decision, or both of them couldn't perform. They have to diversify your approach you use to teach. Also, they all perform very well. So next time when you want to teach, it will help you. So assessment, measurement is actually very, very important. It depends on what trait or feature you want to measure as a mathematics teacher. So that will be the definition of measurement. Next, we are looking at measurement steps. What are the steps involved in measurement? Now we've seen what measurement in maths education is. Therefore, what are the steps you have to follow, the laid down procedure, so that you can do a very good measurement in mathematics? The first of its kind is what. W-H-A-T, what. So the what here talks about what skill, what procedure, what concept, or what mathematical habits of mind, either creative thinking, problem solving, formulating appropriate solution strategy, do you want to measure? So what kind of mathematical scores or procedure do you want to measure? That will be the first thing that should come to your mind. Is it that you want to measure how students say can solve questions very fast, or how students can solve complex questions or solve problem solving? It depends. So what kind of score concept do you want to measure? Then the next of the measurement steps you want to look at is the how. The how of assessment. Now I've seen what score you want to measure. What do you want to measure? The next is how. How are you going to measure the what you actually thinking to measure? How are you going to carry that one out? So what methods are you going to use to measure students' learning? What kind of method? Now you know what you want to measure. So the next step, what method are you going to use? So here you need to determine the set of procedures or operations by which the attribute is to be measured in advance. So what you want to measure, now you know what you want to measure, so you have to in mind know the steps or the kind of method you are going to use in advance. So here you can require students to engage in mathematical investigation activities or return programs, or do you want them to develop their own portfolio so that you can assess their learning, or you are going to conduct a test? But all these questions addresses the how, the procedure or method for gathering data and assigning scores or rating students' work. So the next view of the measurement step we want to look at is the why of assessment. Why of an assessment? So why are you engaging in the measurement exercise? Why do you want to measure some particular attribute or trait? Now you remember if you've done what you want to measure, the next one to also look at how are you going to measure, then the next why, then why do you want to measure at all? So because the measurement of students' attributes is to serve a particular purpose, there's a need for you to establish a set of guidelines for the attribute you want to quantify or you want to measure. So this can take the form of having a table of specification and marking scheme. Okay, this one, another area has come here, a table of specification. Don't worry, we'll be talking about that. By the end of this course, we'll be looking at table of specification, what it is. Or you can also do the what criteria are you, or what criteria are for obtaining a particular score or rating, such a rubric or a rubric. Oh, sorry, it's another area in there. We look at what a rubric is, or marking scheme and short. So actually I've mentioned them. You can see that the rubric or marking scheme actually is the same, the marking scheme. So here the why of assessment answers all these questions. So once all these questions come into your mind, then you know that, oh, this assessment I'm going to measure, this is the reason why I want to measure the assessment. So the review of this session, we look at definition of measurement in mathematics, and we say that measurement in mathematics involves assigning numbers to indicate how well a student has performed on a test, class exercise, or project. And thus measurement is the process of quantifying assessment data. So I give that one to you as an assignment. Measurement is the process of quantifying assessment data. Explain. So in your own words, write something down. Next time when you meet in the next video, we'll talk about that. You also look at some principles or steps associated with measurement in mathematics. When we say that these steps are 3: what, how, and why. Why do you want to measure the assessment? Why do you want to measure? So thank you very much. And then the next section we'll be looking at evaluation. Now we know what assessment is. We also see what measurement is. The next session 3, we are going to look at what is evaluation, what evaluation involves. So go to internet or any books, any place, read under evaluation, write something down. When we meet next video, we discuss. Thank you very much for your attention. So we meet in the next section. Bye.